It's great to be here with Ellie Dickson, who's a friend of both our churches. The Benefice has been supporting Challenge Africa for a good few years. Ellie, welcome.
Hello, Philip. How are you?
Very well, thank you. And can just for those who don't know about Challenge Africa, can you just say what you've been doing up till now?
Yes, since 2006, I set up a charity in Kenya to help the most vulnerable and the poorest members of society themselves out of poverty. So I've set up a couple of schools that are supported by poultry farms, and we've got feeding programs for 107 children at the moment, and we run workshops for women who have domestic violence. We give them practical skills so that they can find their own way economically.
And so now with COVID-19, I mean, how has that changed how you can help people and how people can be helped?
All the children at our school were either full orphans or partial orphans, meaning that they don't have mums and dads, or they've got one carer at home, and that's all. It's primary age children, and the school, we were able to provide everything from daily meals, playtime, healthcare needs were met. They were getting things like dewormed, they were getting their teeth brushed if they needed help with that. They were getting love and hugs, which they just never had when they'd lost their parents. And now we can't do any of that. There's a lockdown in Kenya, the schools have been closed. And so we had to react very quickly, knowing that we couldn't offer any of the services we used to.
Wow, and that must be agony for you.
To see my staff unable to give when they are such givers themselves, and to have them turning away families, to have to social distance is hard, isn't it, for all of us?
Yeah.
And particularly when little ones haven't got anyone else at home.
Yeah. So, I mean, especially the younger ones. I mean, is there any provision at the moment? Are you able to provide anything for them?
I'm amazed how fast my staff have reacted. The lockdown came and the school was shut, but they were able within 2 days to get the food programme up and running. So children individually, or if they've got siblings, they're allowed to come together. They come to the centre and they get bread or rice. And we've kept the poultry programme. We have a poultry farm running, so we've kept the chickens going, and we've still got eggs to give the children every day. We've also got this wonderful facility that St Stephen's and St Mary's has funded, along with some other very generous donors, and that's giving water to a region that doesn't have water. So when the government says things like, to beat COVID-19 you have to wash your hands with soap, and there's no water or soap in a region,
No.
It's very difficult, and that means that we can be a centre in the hub of many villages that, you know, people can responsibly wash their hands and perhaps save lives.
Right. And how has your funding been affected by the lockdown?
People, you know, charity begins at home, people say, and a lot of people have lost their jobs in this country, and we're all frightened. You know, this is the first time any of us have lived with full uncertainty. Although, you know, as many of us know, this uncertainty, particularly in the villages I work in, is something they've lived with forever. But people have cut funding. Normally, we would have taken in £8,000 by this point. So we only took in during COVID-19, during the lockdown in England, we've had £300 in donations. Right. So £8,000 down to 300. We've got 495 left in the bank as of today, and I don't have an option to furlough my workers. Thankfully, Challenge Africa has always been run by volunteers in the UK. We don't ever spend any money on fundraising or staff costs. But in Kenya, it meant I had to let the teachers, the matron, our director and our groundsmen go almost immediately. What's incredible, if you don't mind me showing you some photos, is that they've kept work going. Yeah. And our director works in a makeshift mine that's illegally operating at night, just so that he can keep his family going. So he works all night there, and then he's baking bread and giving it out during the day with the teachers.
Yeah. Well, so how can we support you as our two churches here? How can we help you and help Challenge Africa and help those wonderful children that you love and care for?
Thank you for asking that, Philip, because it's feeling like a burden that I haven't got an answer to at the moment. They are rightfully frightened. We have a number of TB suffering families who will be hardest hit. I'm delighted to say that our workshop that used to train women before COVID-19 to make wonderful garments and to have a skill that they could provide for their families with. They now are making masks. As of today, I think it was 283 masks have been given out to local families and vulnerable people in the region. So if you can keep praying for that project to keep running and for the women to keep making PPE and the masks. None of the clinics there the nurses haven't got masks. They're going on strike soon because they're frightened to keep working. I'll show you a few, if you don't mind, a few photos just to help the prayers, because we do have a number of older women. They're over 70, and they're like Mama Rosa, who we've been supporting for a while, but she took on 5 orphan children. And if I can show you a photo. Can you still see me, Philip? Sorry. Just here.
Well, don't worry. We'll put the photographs in the edit. And then, here we are.
Brilliant. Oh,
lovely.
So, hang on. That was. Should we put them in the edit?
No, let's do it straight now. Then we're seeing them. It's great.
Fantastic. So this is the wonderful facility that provides running water in a region that is so short of water.
Wow.
Eddie is looking after chicks by day and the children, and then by night he's going down into the dangerous mine. And then we've got Mama Rosa, she's 75 now. She's looking after 5 orphans, and she's really frightened. If you can all pray for her, because she knows if she dies, she leaves 5 children alone in the world.
Great.
But as well, Philip, there's always hope. What's interesting is that my team keeps saying to me, "Are you okay? How's everybody in England? How's everybody in Europe?" And that's a feeling that it's one world, isn't it? We've all been brought together. We're all riding the same storm out. We may have different boats, but there's a real global feeling. They are asking us how we are. They are praying for us as well.
That's wonderful. And Ellie, what's the best way for us to give to you?
If you go on our website, you can donate that way.
Okay.
We aren't sending out anything at the moment. We're not doing any shipments, but some of the sewing machines you funded in the past are being used right now to make the PPE that I showed you, that Victor's wearing there, and that Nancy's sewing there. So any donations, of course, are incredibly welcome. I don't know what the world's going to look like when we return to the new normal. I hope it's kinder. For a tiny charity like me, I'm not sure we'll be able to survive. We're currently looking at what assets we have. If we can sell the remaining goats we have, we normally have goats for milk, if we can sell them to bring in more money for soap and things at the moment. But it's going to be a very different way of running a charity, if it's possible at all, after this end.
Well, Ellie, thank you so much for taking time to tell us. And I mean, it's both heartwarming and heartbreaking. And I'm sure both our churches will respond with our prayers and our generosity. But bless you, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Philip. Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.